Hey folks, welcome back to the City of Phear. As always, unless someone changed something without me knowing, I'm your host Brennan Jordan. Hope you're all enjoying your summer. I'm enjoying mine for the most part, though I'm always kind of wishing it get moving along so we can get to football and spooky season as soon as possible. This week's episode is the first time since the very first episode we have 3 short stories in one episode, rather than just one longer story. We've got 2 stories by guest author Nash Nithi and one by yours truly. Nash was kind enough to send me a bunch of stuff, and I picked out my 2 favorites for you, which will start and end the episode. So, enough of my rambling, let's get to it. For the first story in this week's episode, we have a fellow playing an innocent game of tag with a childhood friend. What could go wrong? Well, we'll have to see in the following story, You're It. No one remembers how long the woods have been there, only that they always hum at dusk, whispering like something breathing beneath the bark. When we were kids, my best friend and I played tag there. The old trails behind the houses felt endless to us, full of places to vanish. He was faster than me, always darting between trees, laughing, shouting, "You'll never catch me." It was supposed to be a normal game. I was a seeker that day. He ran deeper into the woods than usual, toward the hollow, an old sink in the land where the air felt heavier, colder. I counted to 30 behind a tree, my eyes closed, hearing the wind rush like footsteps. When I opened them, he was gone. I searched until the sky bruised purple. "Come on," I called, my breath fogging. "You win, all right? You win!" Nothing. Just that hum, soft and rhythmic, like something murmuring my name from the roots. By the time I stumbled back home, every porch light on the street had come on. His parents were already looking for him. I told them we'd been playing tag, that he ran, that I couldn't find him. They searched for days. Dogs, helicopters, neighbors combing through brush with flashlights. The hollow swallowed him whole. After a week, so they stopped. After a month, people stopped saying his name out loud. Years passed. I left town for a while, trying not to think about that day. The sound of his laughter never left me. It came in dreams, echoing behind trees that shouldn't be there. I came back last autumn, when the air felt like old breath and the forest had crept closer to the road. Town hadn't changed, but felt emptier somehow, so something had been forgotten on purpose. That night I walked past the woods again. The same trail, the same hollow curve in the land where I'd last seen him. I don't even remember why I went there, just that something pulled me. Memory. Whisper of movement between the trees. The air was still, heavy, still waiting for a signal. Clear as the day he vanished came his voice. "You're it!" I froze. It was right behind me. I turned and there was no one there. No rustling, no footsteps, not even wind. Just silence pressing against my ears. I took a step back, heart hammering. "Who's there?" I asked, though I already knew that voice. A shape flickered at the edge of my vision, a shadow that didn't belong, a blur of motion ducking behind a tree. For a second, I thought I saw him. The same jacket, the same small frame, except the colors were wrong, washed out, as though the forest had drained him dry. He peeked from behind the trunk and his smile was too wide. "Missed me?" The sound came from everywhere at once. My legs wouldn't move. He stepped closer, still flickering, like the air around him couldn't decide if he was real. His eyes were hollow, reflecting nothing but dark. His hand rose slowly, pointing at me. "Your turn," he said, and then he ran into the trees, laughing the same way he used to. Something in me reacted before I could think. I chased after him. Branches whipped against my face, laughter always just ahead. It never grew distant, never closer. The deeper I ran, the more the trees changed. Trunks bending inwards, their bark pulsing faintly like veins. He darted around a bend, and when I followed, the ground gave way. The hollow. I stumbled into it, breath ragged. The moonlight above was pale and wrong, lighting the hollow in shades of bone. And there he was, standing still at the center, smiling. "You're it," he whispered again. I blinked, and he was gone, but I could feel him. The trees began to move, not swaying, not creaking, moving, as if breathing. Their roots shifted beneath the soil, threading around my feet, anchoring me. The ground pulsed once, twice, and I understood. He hadn't vanished. He'd been taken. And now the game had come back for me. A voice, his voice, murmured just beside my ear. "Don't stop playing." Then darkness rushed in, and the forest exhaled. They say people sometimes hear laughter at night near the hollow, that if you call out, it calls back, just out of sight. No one plays tag anymore in this town, but sometimes, when the wind moves right, you can still hear it, a whisper between the trees, soft and close. "You're it." Oh man, I really like that one. As an elder millennial, even though I love my Nintendo and Sega, I spent so much time either running around the neighborhood I grew up in with my friends or in nearby woods. Glad I didn't get disappeared or taken. Anyone that knows me well knows that I'm a huge geek. I love Dungeons & Dragons and other role-playing games, so it's just a matter of time before I threw some of that into a story. Actually, speaking of that, for folks who love strange podcasts, I played a game of Kids on Bikes with a few other therapist friends back during the pandemic. It was one of the few things that helped me keep somewhat sane. We called it Shrinks on Bikes and recorded all the sessions. You can find those over at my buddy Woody's podcast, the Rolling for Change podcast, which is available on Apple and I think a few other platforms. Got some time to spare and love role-playing games as much as I do? Give it a listen. Alright, enough of me and my ADHD brain going off. You want to hear a story. Before we get another one from Nash, we've got one of mine. This one was inspired by the RPG Horror Stories subreddit. I hope you enjoy 86'd from Game Night.
Oh, I can see her, but she can't see me. Of course. That's the way it should be. I'm just like my character, roguelike and stealthy as I sneak along the front of her house and watch through the windows. She's as pretty as she was that night. She sat at my table last month at the bar, and as pretty as every night I've watched her from my car, going in and out each week. That tight black Sabbath shirt looks great on her, even though I bet she can't even name 3 songs. I still can't believe she wanted to sit down and play the D&D one-shot I had crafted for game night at the Lizard Den, my favorite local bar. Well, it was. Pretty girls like her are never into role-playing games, or they just pretend to be to get attention. Well, she got my attention, especially when she yawns and stretches like that. I know it's late, but I'm not ready for you to go to sleep yet. I just got here. She leaves the room and doesn't come right back, but I don't think I want to move to another window just yet. There's a large bush in front of this one, blocking anyone from the street seeing me. Definitely a critical success on my stealth check, I have to say. I've got a clear view of her front living room. It's pretty standard. TV, coffee table, sofa, and a love seat. Decorations are pretty minimal. Not what I'd have expected from her given the edgy punk way she dresses. It's filled with framed posters and wooden boards with things as sickeningly basic as the typical live, laugh, love signs you see in every other female's house. Not that I've seen many, of course. Yeah, that confirms it. She was definitely just playing for attention. Why else wouldn't she know how the game worked? I mean, everything was going fine with her and the rest of the group until I cast a seduction spell against that sexy elf druid character of hers. If she didn't want it to work, she needed to succeed at her saving throw. It's not my fault her roll was low. It's not my fault that spell was cast. That's just what my character would do. And since I am the dungeon master, it's my duty, after all, to explain how everything plays out. It's my game that I spent hours preparing for weeks before that month's game night. It's my right to explain in every little detail what happened to her character under the seduction spell. Does she even know how the game works? She had no right saying that I was cringe and storming out of the bar. Of course, not before going to the manager and saying whatever she said to them. She probably lied like all women like her do to get her way. Whatever she said, it worked to get that low-life asshole Rick at the bar, who, let me tell you, I'm known for at least 1 year, and always make sure to tip $1 full per drink, to yell at me in front of everyone. That's it, buddy. This is the third time I've gotten a complaint from a woman saying that you're being a creep and stepping over the line. You need to get out of here now. Don't come back. We don't need loser neckbeards hanging around here scaring off our regulars. And when I tried to protest, they shoved me out onto the street, throwing my game supplies out after me. I could probably sue them for the damage they caused to half of my minis. Alright, she's back in the living room. She looks excited about something as I hear her blast some music and start dancing around while eating from a bag of pretzels. She's so sexy. I wonder if she knows I'm watching her. I grip the sacrificial dagger I brought along just a little bit harder. Maybe she'd like that. No, Mom, I can't talk right now. I'm busy. I told you not to call me when I'm out at night. I'll clean my room when I get home. You can't tell me what to do. I'm 32 years old, damn it. I hang up the phone just in time as I see headlights pulling into the driveway. Oh shit! I duck down behind the bush when I see a car pull in. The light shut off and I see a shadowy figure get out. As he steps toward the light outside the front door, I can see, it's Sam from the bar. I've seen him around there a few times. He's a stuck-up pretty boy that plays guitar and sings his dumbass songs at open mic night. All the girls are always swooning over that dickhead. He's played a few one-shots at game night with me, and of course he always plays like a complete idiot. He doesn't even know how to maximize his stats for optimal damage. It's always the total losers like him girls go for, so why would it be any different this time? I saw the way he was flirting with her. That night she got me thrown out. I saw the extended eye contact back and forth during the game. The way she put her hand on his knee when he made a stupid joke. Then I saw how he had to play the white knight and get up from the table with her when she couldn't handle the game getting too real. He ruined everything. If he hadn't have been there, I know for a fact that my detailed account of how the Demon Lord would have seduced her character, would have gotten her so turned on, and she would have left with me for sure. I crouch down lower as he comes closer to the front door and closer to my hiding space. I whisper a short hiding spell in Elvish to make sure he can't see me. I get my knife ready in case it doesn't work. I watch as she opens the door, gives him a hug, and invites him in. He ruined my game night, my reputation. Now he's going to ruin everything tonight. They go in. He sits on the couch while she disappears out of sight for a minute before coming back with 2 beers. Watch them as they sit on the couch talking, probably about me. Every time I see her laugh, I just know that Sam's probably making some joke at my expense. Sorry I can't be some hipster Chad fuckboy like Sam here. I watch as they turn on some movie. I don't know what it is. It looks like some basic bitch rom-com. Of course he'd watch that with her. All he did was simp the whole time we were playing, so why stop now? They know I'm here, I'm sure of it. They haven't looked my way, but they're just pretending. They're doing this to torture me. It's bad enough when she got all cuddled up on the couch, but then she had to start rubbing his leg. I thought I was going to lose my shit and put a rock through the window once they started making out. When I saw her shirt start to come off is when it was over for me. Change of plans, I said out loud as I jumped up and out of the bushes, ran to the front door and started banging on it over and over. I scared them good as I heard them rustling, and it sounded like somebody fell off the couch. I hope that idiot hit his head on the coffee table or something. Sam opened the door, and before he could say a word, I plunged my dagger into his stomach. It didn't work like it does in the games, though. I expected him to just fall down dead. I mean, I had a perfect sneak attack. He grabbed onto my shoulders, and as I tried to get free, he pulled me falling backwards into the house. He rolled over and on top of me and started beating my face while yelling and cursing. Damn, could this guy hit hard. I heard the both of them screaming while I kept trying to stab him from underneath. I got him a few good times and was able to push him off of me as his strength started to fade. I could barely see as my eyes were already swollen when I felt a pinch. I saw her standing behind me, grabbing my hair with one hand and jamming that needle into the right side of my neck with the other. I saw that for just a few seconds before... I don't know how long I was out, but when I woke up, I wasn't in the same place. I was lying on a concrete floor, with my hands bound behind my back and my feet tied together with rope. My mouth was gagged with duct tape, making it kinda hard to breathe. I struggled to move around or roll over. It felt like my hands tied behind my back must have been attached to something on the floor. The room was a pretty big and open one. It was lit with too many candles sitting on small wooden tables and plenty of others on the floor. There was a large upside-down pentagram painted in red paint on the wall I was closest to. There were also several curved swords and daggers hung up on the walls. Oh, so I guess this is her dungeon. Wow, even this is a stereotype. I bet she got most of this stuff from the mall. What a poser. I heard a rustling and the sound of something being thrown down the stairs. I tilted my head up. I could see her walking down the stairs with a large knife, much bigger than mine, in her hand. I see now that it was Sam who had tumbled down the stairs. She lifted up his head by his hair, giving me a view of his lifeless eyes. She stood over me, glaring with the same anger and disgust she had during that game night. You pathetic fucking loser. You ruined everything. He was supposed to be my offering tonight. How the hell did you even find out where I live? I couldn't reply, my mouth being taped shut and all. Maybe she should have thought that one out, jeez. I don't think the Eternal One will be happy with a sacrifice as worthless as you, but what else can I do now? She slips out of sight and starts chanting in a language I've never heard. I hear cutting sounds coming from where Sam's body was dropped on the floor. The candles start to flicker and the pentagram on the wall starts to slightly pulse and waver. I can't help but geek out over the special effects she has worked up down here. At least she's got something right. My admiration is interrupted as I feel the sharp pain of her knife lunged into my chest. I see her face above me, covered in what I imagine is Sam's blood. I try to scream through the tape. I try to break from my bonds. I try to get away. I feel my strength fading quickly and feel my body going cold fast. Wow, this actually would be a pretty cool setup or story for another game. I don't think I'll get the chance to use it though, as I hear a low growling. I start to see the shadow of a monstrous figure with large horns emerge from the wall just before I take my last breath.
That's quite a story, Kevin, I say as I sit across from the portly fella in my office. So that actually happened in your... Yeah, Doc, I'm a ghost, a spirit. No one's cast a resurrection spell on me quite yet, though I'm still holding out. Wow, that really sucks that happened to you. I'm curious, though, how and why you're here exactly. Well, it's been getting around that you're a halfway decent therapist. You haven't been great so far. Pretty lame, actually. But I figured I'd give you a shot. I saw that D20 tattoo and figured you could relate to this kind of thing. Yeah, I guess I've been getting more folks from the spiritual realm lately. Well, it sounds like you've been through an awful lot and have plenty to talk about and work out. I'd be glad to help out the best I can. With spirits, though, it's always tough when it comes to payment, though.
Ah, don't worry, Doc. I know you like D&D, and I'm willing to offer my superb Dungeon Master services to you and your friends in exchange for our therapy sessions. Kevin, I think I'm going to have to decline on that one, but I'm sure we can work something out. Same time next week?
So, there's a lesson I was trying to get across in this story. Play D&D. It's an awesome game and a great way to make friends. But if you're running the game, don't be a creep, lest you might just end up on the wrong end of a sacrificial blade and become demon fodder. At least I hope you do if you're any type of creep like Kevin from the story, or half the folks I read about on RPG horror stories. Well, we're getting to the end. Got one more story from guest author Nash Nithi. This one hits on so many things that I love. Here's a story of horror, chaos, trauma, and revenge. I hope you enjoy The One Who Walked Away. I don't remember the screaming as much as I remember the after. The quiet, the absolute choking quiet. They called themselves a family, those 6 masked killers who came for us in the woods. We were supposed to be camping, drinking, laughing. Then the night split open with blades and laughter that didn't sound human. I don't know why I survived. Maybe they thought I was dead. Maybe something in me already was. When I crawled out from under the bodies, shaking and blood wet, the moon looked brighter than it ever had. Too bright, like it was watching. I stared at the trees and realized something simple, something terrifying. Everyone I loved was gone. The people who did it were still alive. And suddenly, breathing didn't feel like enough. First one I found was the tall one with the bear mask. He was humming by a creek, washing red from his hands. I watched him for a long time. Long enough to memorize the rhythm of his sighs, the way he leaned on one hip, relaxed like killing was just brushing his teeth. I didn't plan anything. I just stepped out of the trees. He saw me, tilted his head, and then he laughed. "You're supposed to be dead." "Not yet," I said. The rest happened fast. Movement, sound, breath. I don't remember the specifics. Only the shock in his eyes when he realized the prey wasn't running anymore. When he hit the ground, the creek carried his humming away. The next one, well, that was easier. I didn't feel fear this time. Just a hollow steadiness as I tracked him through abandoned farmland. My footsteps felt guided, almost practiced, like I'd done this before. He wore a bird mask. Coward. I could hear it in the way his breathing stuttered. He noticed something was wrong long before he saw me. The silence unnerved him. Good. Followed him until he couldn't tell which shadows were his. When he finally turned and saw me standing in the field, he whispered, "What are you?" I didn't have an answer. I still don't. By the time I went after the third and fourth, they were already paranoid. Doors bolted, lights off. They slept in shifts. They whispered to each other about the dead one haunting them. I heard them through the walls, every word, every fear. I should have felt something. Guilt, satisfaction, rage. There was just quiet. Deeper quiet than the one after the massacre. Quiet that felt like it belonged to me. I found the fifth running through the trees, breath sharp, mask gone. He tried to beg, not for mercy, for understanding. "Wasn't personal," he choked. It's what we do." "I know," I said. "Now this is what I do." The look he gave me wasn't fear. It was recognition. Like he finally saw what was inside me. What had always been there, but dormant. Maybe the massacre didn't change me. Maybe it just stripped away everything that kept me from seeing myself clearly. The last one was the hardest. Not because he was strong. Not because he was clever. Because he wasn't afraid. He stood in the clearing where they killed my friends, arms open, mask hanging loose in one hand. "You won," he said softly. "So what now?" I walked up to him. The moon lit his face, pale and calm. He looked almost relieved. "Now," I said. "Now nothing." Because it wasn't about winning. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about balance or justice or any of the words people use to make violence feel righteous. It was about the quiet, about returning it to where it belonged. When it was over, the clearing felt still again, like the woods were holding their breath, like the world had been waiting for this. For me, I'm the only one left, the only survivor. So the police will say when the bodies are found. But I don't feel like a survivor. I feel like something that crawled out of that night with the killers. Not a victim, not a monster. Something in between. Something sharpened my blood in silence. I should go home, call someone, tell a story that ends with me being grateful to be alive. But I don't go home. I don't call anyone. Instead, I walk deeper into the woods, because in the stillness, in the dark, I had the same thing I heard the night they killed us. Laughter. Not theirs. Mine. And it feels good. Like I said, I'm an elder millennial, born in the 80s, came up in the 90s. I was raised on plenty of those good slasher films. Really love the story. Thanks again to Nash for providing some content for y'all tonight. A little bit about Nash. Nash Nithi started his journey as an aspiring scriptwriter before deciding to turn his scripts into books. He has a deep affinity for dark fantasy, horror, and gritty crime stories that blur the lines of good and evil, along with the greatness within them. The stories you heard tonight are from his collection called Tales from the Hollow, and you can find out more by following him on Instagram at NashNithi115. I'll put a link in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed our collection of short stories tonight as much as I did producing them. The stories you've heard are property of the authors and can't be reproduced without the author's permission. If you like what you heard tonight, give me a like, follow, review, whatever there is to do on the platform you're listening, and please share it with someone in your life who needs a little extra spooky added to it. Glad you were able to make it into the city. Always love when you stop by. Get home safe, and I hope to see you around these parts real soon.